Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I am Aviation Plus. I create Falcon 4.38 videos now. I've been making videos for about 5 years. I have a whole bunch of tutorials. Make sure you check out the other videos I have. But in this video, I'll do a short introduction and tour of Falcon 4.38 since we'll have a whole bunch of new people. So I'll give a short little tour of what the game is about and how the user interface works. So go ahead, once you install it, you have your shortcut here. Press this shortcut, and this is the launcher that comes with BMS. It is new to the launchers that you might be used to. So this is the internal version, but it's very similar to what will be released. So in here you have the launcher, you have the axis assigned. You can control and map your axes here. And key mapping is right there, so you do all your key mappings. To switch over to the F15, you go into this drop down, switch to F15, and you have more key mappings there. You can also search the filter for specific buttons, and it'll filter those buttons based on what you put in there. So I'm going to put step, and all the steps come up on the left side here. When you click on something to map, go ahead and double click on it, and it'll be awaiting inputs and all that. Back to axes assigned, you got your flight control avionics, so your roll, pitch, and throttle. ICP, you got the HUD brightness, course heading if you have axes for those. Also for the view is right here. So back to the launcher. So you have these buttons right here. This is like a light bulb. If it's on, as in white, that means it is on. So make sure that these are on if you want them to be on. Acme is the TAC view. Window is the how the game will show up on your screen. The opposite of window is full screen. So if you want that, no movie is the movie that begins at the beginning. iFly is the free look for videos sometimes, and debug is the command prompt that puts up all the error codes and the codes that BMS is doing. Out of all this, all you need to worry about is Acme if you want to do Acme. I do not have virtual reality, so I have no VR. These two use as needed. The document folder is right here. Once you click on that, it'll open up the document folder, which is very important. If you want to learn BMS, you need to know where the documents are. Click on that, Docs, BMS Manuals, and you have the manuals here for the game in general. And then you go down to 2, has Aircraft Manuals and Checklist. You have the F16, and then you have the F15. So those are the manuals that you will need there. If you're confused, go to the Welcome, bring up this file, and it'll bring you into the Welcome for the manuals. It'll tell you what each of them do, where they are, and what content is in each manual. So this is very important if you want to start in BMS and be successful. So that's the manuals. Theater, depending on how many theaters you have, you will click on this drop-down menu and you'll choose what theater it is that you want to choose. Make sure you choose the theater before you hit launch. All this stuff down here, I will not talk about it in this short tutorial. Once all that is good and you press launch, you'll see the splash screen. So in here is the main menu of Falcon BMS. You got instant action, which is usually used to test flight controls. It is not really maintained very well, so there's a lot of bugs. It is not meant to be used as a normal way of playing Falcon BMS. But you have mission, fighter sweep, moving mud, air to air, air to ground, waves based on their difficulty level, SAMs, air defenses, time, and all that. And this is where your area of play will be. And that's pretty much it for this. That you can't update your missiles or your bombs. It'll give you whatever. You cannot edit that at all. So that's what instant action is. Dogfight mode is basically what it says. So you go into dogfight, you can choose different aircraft to fly, and you can choose different aircraft to go against. If you want to fly by yourself, no need for another aircraft, basically free flight mode, go to furball, press commit. Once you hit commit, it'll bring you to this screen. You can choose your aircraft by right-clicking on Claw 1, and go into the select aircraft. F-16 is all together into one. So you have all the F-16s there. The F-15 is there. And the F-18s are just below the 16. Those are the 3 ones that you need that are worth actually flying in Falcon BMS. All the other ones are probably not good enough to be able to fly, when it comes to the cockpit at least. They will fly, but you won't have a specific cockpit to that aircraft. So again, F-16, F-18 Hornets, and then the F-15C are good to fly in Falcon BMS. Here's the same. You have the box of area of operations. Pure pursuit, not going to worry about it. It's basically the tactics that the AI will perform. Range between the AI and your other opponent, altitude and points, radar missiles. You can give yourself more missiles and all that stuff. ECM, red means on, unlimited guns is on, ECM is on, and all that stuff. Once you got all that good, you could go ahead and press commit, and it'll bring you into 3D. Wait till it gets you into the pit, and you can do whatever you want. This is kind of like a free flight mode in Falcon BMS. There are other ones here that I won't talk about, but it's basically versus each other, so you can go against someone else. I'm going to go to match play real quick, commit, and you're in match play. You can add another person here based on their skill level. Add that there. Now you're versus a A4. So that's that in a nutshell. Going to go back. Then you have your tactical engagement, which is like the mission editor. You can create your own missions, or you can go into training. So press your training. You got all these training missions here. You got ground ops, navigation, landing, and so on. All of those different training missions. So for example, as a quick introduction, go into ground ops. This is the information here. Press commit. Once you're in commit, this is the main screen of Falcon BMS when it comes to missions. I will not go over everything. I will have a video later. This is just an introduction to BMS for new folks. Over here has missions. This is the mission that you'll be in, the training flight. Goblin 2 is your call sign, and this is your aircraft. Make sure you click on that, and that'll be your aircraft for this flight. There's something called the click dance to make sure that you get all of your comms and your ID, or your not IDM, your Link 16 information into your aircraft, your DTC. So to do that, before each flight, make sure you press your data cartridge, press comm plan for your comm radios and frequencies, IFF plan for your IFF codes, and then you press Link 16 plan, and it'll update your Link 16 plan, and go ahead and press save. For the most part, there's nothing else you need to do to be able to get into the tutorials. Just go ahead and press takeoff, and it'll enter you into the tutorials. There are no overlay of stuff in the 3D world. You need to follow along with the manual that is given with BMS. It is called the training manual, and that's located in your docs folder. And then moving down here into campaign, this is the dynamic campaign that BMS has, and everybody loves it. So in here you got new, saved, and online. If you have saved campaigns, they'll be there. If you want to do a new one, you got 4 options here. Tiger Spirit, which has a movie. So if you want to skip it, just press escape. So these have movies on it. So this is the campaign. You got 4 options here. Basically goes from easy to hard for the most part. So when you click on it, it'll bring up a movie. If you want to skip it, just press escape. Press escape, and it chooses that campaign there. Go ahead and press commit. Actually, so there's that campaign there. Go ahead and go to your whatever squadron you want to go to, 36th or 44th. It tells you what type of aircraft it is right here, and you can click on the different airfields, and it'll tell you what kind of aircraft it is right there. And you go ahead and press commit, and it brings you up to this screen, and you could do everything right here. And
the combined forces
there's another movie, so let's press escape.
The combined forces.
Another one, press escape. And the movies are there, and now they're gone. And now you can hit your flight you want to go in, hit your aircraft you want to be in, and then you're good to go. Of course, make sure you press your data cartridge, comm plan, IFF, Link 16, all that stuff, and press takeoff, and you're in. For multiplayer, it is not as easy as you're probably used to, but you need to have the IP address for the person you're connecting, and I will have a video on this later on going into more detail. But this is how you log into online servers. The servers are not always on. You need to specifically have someone who has the ability to host a server and then join them when missions are being created. Acme is disabled since it's used in TACView. Got your theater. Do not use the theater because it's chosen in the launcher before we get to the screen. Logbook is all your hours and your kills and your deaths. And then you have the setup here. Do not use the controllers. Don't open that because the controller in BMS is not stable. So just try not to open that. But you have your simulation here, realism scale, all the options here. You can explore yourself. Got the graphics. This is what I have. It's pretty good. I have a GTX 3070 Ti. and it's decent. So this is a good setup to use if you want to have a decent setup for, or graphic settings for BMS. Won't go over all these, but you can kind of assume what it means. The sound here, all of this is kind of self-explanatory, and adjust as needed with that. So I know it was a quick tutorial, very quick. Just want to get everyone in and understand where everything is very quickly. But for the most part, explore, have fun. Hopefully you enjoy Falcon BMS 4.38, and I'll hope to see you in the skies, and I'll see you next time.